What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Rank Everything, the show where we rank everything. I'm your host, Ryan, and today we're going to be ranking the Elden Ring Night Rain Nightfarer characters based on which one is the freakiest. This one is not going to be including DLC yet, just because that's too new and I haven't played it yet, so I'm not going to be including any from that. But our tiers for today are here at the bottom. We have not freaky. These are characters that are very much not freaky. Then from there, we have somewhat freaky, getting like minor freakness. Then we have quite freaky characters who are, a little more. And then freakalicious. These are characters who are they're freaky, they're not afraid to show it, but it's still respectable. And then we have at the top we have true night freaker. This is reserved for the characters who are so unabashedly freaky that it's totally outrageous. Whenever we remake this video with the DLC characters, and I get to include the Undertaker or whatever she's called, she will probably go way up here. Okay. First up, we've got Wilder. So Wilder's pretty basic. He's very much the sword and shield character, where he's just... It's actually, Wilder's probably my favorite class because the grappling hook and the special light attack heavy that you get to use with it, that's really cool. And it's one of those things where, being able, he's got he's got his exploding crossbow bolt on his, lodged in his arm that does crazy damage and, posture damage and stuff like that. But, so let's see. He has a grappling hook. Being able to grapple an enemy towards you or grapple you toward an enemy to get closer to them to attack them is pretty freaky, I think. Blowing people up with a crossbow thing that you have lodged or that you have attached to your arm underneath your cloak or whatever is also pretty freaky. Let's see, he's got this subplot thing going on in his remembrance where, I don't know if it's ever stated outright, but it's at least very heavily implied that him and fucking Duchess are brother and sister, but of course they've lost their memories and whatnot or stuff like that. So I think that Nightfarer, just mostly really because of mostly really because of the grappling hook, I feel like he probably goes in the quite freaky category. Grappling hooks are so freaky when they're only used for other people or yourself and not like buildings and shit. Guardian. I feel like Guardian is literally a Birdman, but he cannot fly because he's got a broken wing. I don't know. I'm not going to say that having broken wings is freaky because what the fuck. But let's see. Guardian. I said he's very he's probably the most basic of all the. Well, he might not be the most basic. He's at least the second most basic class. His whole gimmick is that he will guard boost and hide behind his shield and poke with his he'll poke with his halberd or spear or whatever weapon you've given him. You can only poke with halberds or spears from behind his shield with the way that Elden Ring works. And so his ult is really cool. His ult, lets you slam down into the ground, and then of course you create that protective barrier where it lets you create that protective barrier where your allies are effectively immortal while they're inside of it, which is pretty cool. I don't know. Caring for your friends is definitely not freaky, is all I'm going to say. Caring for strangers, now if you're one of those people who does teams of 3 but you queue up solo, that's freaky. But that's not getting into the character of Guardian, that's just getting into where that freaky motherfucker doing that shit is. Guardian is I'm going to say Guardian is not freaky. Guardian is not freaky. Fucking I haven't played Night Rain in a week or two. I cannot believe I'm forgetting the names of all the characters right now. But the fucking Iron Eye, okay? Iron Eye is definitely the class I've played the most, I think, just because, I don't know, I never really used bows in base Elden Ring at all, so getting to have a character who just uses a bow is very fun to me. And so, his whole thing is he shoots you from far away with a bow, and he's part of this secret order of, I don't know if they're all archers or similar Iron Eye people, But I think they sort of are. He's pretty cool. He's very much like a guy who really keeps himself, doesn't talk much, likes conversations to be quick, maybe has trust issues, I don't know. What I can say is that Iron Eye, so he has his... Okay, so for freak point number 1 goes to the fact that his basic character skill is where he lunges at the enemy, slashes them with a knife, and reveals a weak point on that enemy's body. And that's just so loaded up with freak, like knifing someone to reveal a weak point on their body so you can shoot them better. I mean, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy to me. And then his ultimate attack, where he makes his bow absolutely gigantic, and it said I think the description is that it shoots an arrow that defies all logic, or not logic. It defies all... I don't know, but it's really cool. It goes through everything. It pierces through every enemy. It'll instantly revive an ally that is 2 bars, but not an ally that's 3. I don't think. It's a freaking awesome attack. I'm not going to give him any freak points for the bow, but I'm giving him crazy freak points for that knife attack. That's fucking crazy. That's even worse than the grappling hook. He's going in freakalicious. The Duchess. So the Duchess, as I said, is at least very heavily implied to be Wilder's sister. Her whole thing is that she starts out as the priestess, I think is what the character is called, but she's like this sort of guide there at the round table hold, and when you first talk to her, you ask her why she doesn't fight, and she says that she basically says that she can't. Like she doesn't have the ability to do it or something like that. And so, but then you give her like the pocket watch, which is a big part of her character, and all of a sudden it like lets her fight, or like it makes her remember how to, or something like that. And she rips off the cloak, and it's this really cool cutscene. And so she's very much the up close dagger dexterity character. Whereas, Iron Eye is the long-range dexterity character. She's a very fun class to play as, like, really good with status build-up, great with daggers and rapiers and fast attacking small weapons. Her character skill allows her to replay all the damage that just occurred to any enemies in the surrounding area. It's a really damn good skill if you have good timing with it. And then her... ultimate ability, I think it's called Encore. Basically, it turns you and all of your allies invisible for a time. And it's one of those things that just like the way it works in game is that you go invisible, and any enemy that you are fighting forgets that you ever existed. It's a perfect like run away and live another day kind of thing. Or you can use it to make yourself invisible and go in for a backstab on an enemy. And turning yourself invisible for the purpose of backstabbing people is pretty damn freaky. I'm gonna put her in the same tier as Wilder with quite freaky. Raider is the big, tough, two-handed, heavy weapons guy. Like his whole thing is using big weapons, stunning enemies, doing big, single attack damage, things like that. Raider's pretty cool. I mean, he's very much like a Viking barbarian character. He wears animal skins. He's like all of his freaking things. He's got this big freaking animal skull crown that he wears. It's pretty interesting. His character skills is 1, he will do a punch. It's like this big punch. It causes him to take a lot less damage, and it's this big charge-up, wind-up punch. And you punch an enemy, and it'll knock them back and do serious damage to them. And you actually do more damage with the punch, depending on how much damage you've taken recently. So there's an upgraded version of the punch that does more damage. It has a bigger area of effect. It does way more stun, and it's an awesome, crazy ability, I think. And then he has his ultimate ability. It's called a Totem Stella. He slams this dagger in the ground, and it causes this giant pillar of stone to rise up out of the ground. And depending on how you build him with the trinkets and other stuff that you bring on each expedition, You can get bonuses for being around the totem stela, doing things around the totem stela, attacking enemies around it, stuff like that. And that's a really good build to have because obviously it's his ult. Of course you're going to use it. It's a really good thing to use against, enemies that can't, jump very high or fly, because you can just go up in the air and kind of avoid them, and then you can do plunging attacks from there. I mean, I'm not even sure if the Raider's really freaky. I think I'm just like talking myself into playing him more often because I just explained why he's such a great character. Because he is a great character. I think the first time I ever beat the three-headed dog, the first Night Lord, was the very first time I ever played as Raider, which is funny. Because I just totally bodied him with all the stun and stuff. I guess wearing the whole animal skins and the crown thing on your head, that's pretty freaky. And then the taking damage to do more damage is also kind of freaky. I'm gonna put him in quite freaky because he gets 2 freak points for that. Revenant is a bit of a crazy one. Revenant's whole story is that she was like part of this noble lineage that was killed by Healstor, the ultimate Night Lord, or one of the Night Lords, or something like that, and she was killed as well, but she transferred her spirit into the doll, which is who we play as, and she's, learned the ability to summon the spirits or the ghosts of her dead family members to fight for her in combat. She's a very cool, fun character to play as. And she's just got, like, tons of freak stuff. Okay, yeah. Like, summoning the ghosts of your dead family members to fight for you is freaky as shit. Transferring your spirit into the body of a doll after you have died is freaky as shit. Being barefoot all the time is freaky as shit. And it's 1,000,000% on purpose because it's Miyazaki and it's his bullshit. Literally, when you run around as Revenant, look at the bottoms of her feet. They get progressively more dirty as you play. I am not fucking kidding you. It's insane. The fucking Night Freaker. Put her in the Night Freaker category. The Recluse. So they knew exactly what they were doing when they made the Recluse. I don't know if she's barefoot. I don't think I've ever got a really good view of her feet, but she's got huge tits. And they knew exactly what they were doing when they made the Recluse. It's a dark skin, huge boobs, long white hair, very intelligent. She's like literally like a witch. So she's perfect. So she's, a master of magic. She's got really cool magic-based abilities. The magic cocktail's really cool. I can't remember what her ult is called. I think it's kind of mid. Outside of, if she was barefoot, I can't remember if she's barefoot, but if she was barefoot, that would definitely give her a freak point there, because being barefoot all the time is freaky as shit. Her ult is, I can't remember what it's called, but what it does is she curses all the enemies in the surrounding area with this mark. And anytime anybody on your team attacks an enemy that has this mark, they regain both health and mana. And it's got something to do with, called a blood curse or a blood mark or something to do with blood. And, she has a trinket that you can get for her where that says anytime she casts her ult, she inflicts bleed status on herself, which is fucking freaky. We're just gonna put her in the somewhat freaky category. And then I'm gonna say, so this is up next. Finally, is Executor. So Executor he's the anime, katana class. It's got a lot of cool, kung fu style moves. The Executor is, he's like from the land of reeds. The Executor's most interesting thing is that he does not talk. He does not speak. He only makes painful grunt noises, but he does not have a single spoken dialogue in the whole game, as far as I'm aware, at least. But the way he communicates is through he loves to paint. He has a remembrance for you to go gather flowers and paint and plant them in the Round Table Hole courtyard. That's just really wholesome. I think the Executor is, despite the fact that he's called Executor and he wears this crazy, super awesome looking armor, I think he's probably the least freaky of all the characters. Because he doesn't say anything, he doesn't make these crazy ass licking noises and other shit like that. He doesn't He doesn't have some crazy ass lore that is insane. No, I think Executor's like the least freaky of all the characters. Now, that being said, his armor, his feet armor, is quite literally modeled for his toes. I'm just saying he's not barefoot technically, but his foot armor has got a little bit of something going on. But I genuinely think Executor's probably the least freaky character from the base game. But yes, this is our official ranking for which of the Elden Ring Night Rain Nightfarers are the most freaky. If y'all enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel to see more content like this in the future. It means everything to me whenever you all subscribe to the channel, watch the videos all the way through. It helps the channel's growth and everything so tremendously. Leave a like on this video so that YouTube will recommend it more to you as more to others in the future. Helps the channel with growth as well. And then finally, leave a comment down below letting me know what ranking you want to see in the future. It can be anything. The channel is called Rank Everything. Once again, thank you all for watching. Until next time, have a good one.